another episode of Curtain Call Conversations. I'm here today with Katie Tonkinson, who's just about to embark on the new UK tour of Bonnie and Clyde, playing Bonnie herself. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. So the tour kicks off imminently, 22nd of February at the Leicester Curve. Are you sort of well within sort of the rehearsal process now?
Yeah, so we started on Monday, so we're only on kind of day 4, but yeah, we are cracking through material. We're getting all our songs going. Done quite a few scenes. Yeah, a lot of information, but it's really exciting. It's amazing to be in the room with such talented people, and yeah. I feel very, very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. So you play the lead role of Bonnie. I mean, an iconic, this is like real life people. This actually happened back in the
Yeah.
1930s, which, is bizarre now. Just think about it.
Yeah.
But, did you see the West End production?
Yes, I saw it
Yeah.
at the yeah.
Okay. So what will you bring to the character of Bonnie?
I think she's such a multi-faceted woman. I think there's a real fire in her that I would love to kind of recreate, just, even a spark of it.
Yeah.
She was a criminal, but people were obsessed with her.
Yeah.
So there's something kind of hypnotic about her. I feel like you have to somehow create, which I think the relationship with Clyde is, we're creating something, new. It's not a carbon copy of what would have been at the West End. This is a brand new version. It's a new relationship that we're making. And yeah, I think the fact she was such a style icon, and for women at the time, she was such a strong influencer, I suppose, of breaking the rules and kind of doing what you wanted, getting what you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, yes, as you say, she's quite an iconic character sort of in history. And you mentioned
Yeah,
Clyde there. You've got 2 Clydes throughout this
I do.
tour. I mean, how do you feel like, will there be a different performance dependent on which Clyde you're playing against on stage?
I think so. I think obviously kind of blocking will be similar, and everything's, it's the same material, but that's quite exciting for me. I mean, I get to make something new as we're in rehearsals with the different Clydes. They'll have different interpretations of things. I'll get something different for them. It means I'm going to react differently to how they say something, how we move around each other. Yeah, I think it'll definitely be a different show with the different Clydes.
Yeah. So how does the rehearsal process work on that basis that you've got 2 Clydes? Are you sort of just rehearsing with whoever you're touring with first, or do you all get together in the same room at the same time?
So currently, the last couple of days I've just been with Alex.
Yeah.
From Hatton. Day 1 we were lucky enough to have Danny in, but he's off being fantastic in the full Monty tour right now.
He is. Yeah, I saw him actually this week. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to try and see it next week because it's not far from London. But so when he actually next week, for example, he's in Southend, we'll have him for a bit more next week, and then get to kind of switch in and out as we're kind of piecing it all together. Sure. So yeah, it's as and when we kind of switch it so we all have a fair chance of learning it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're visiting one of my hometown theatres, the Wolverhampton Grand Theatre, between the 5th and the 9th of March. Can't wait to see the show then. Have you been to Wolverhampton before?
I've never been, no.
Excellent. Are you excited?
I am. Well, this is the whole thing about this tour. This is my first big UK tour.
Oh, wow.
So there's loads of places I've never seen, I've never explored.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a foodie as well, so I want to try and get lots of recommendations for while I'm there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get around to the places. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a great place. So I really hope you enjoy your time there. I mean, you mentioned this is your first tour. I mean, how do you feel about being away from home for a long period of time? Are you excited? Are you a bit apprehensive?
No, I'm excited. I have done contracts away before, so I think the concept of being away from home it's fine. I'm so thrilled to be doing the job. It kind of cancels out the cons, if you like. Yeah, it's part of the job. It is, and I get time. We get little breaks. We do get to go home, so it makes up for it because you're doing I'm doing such an exciting role, I'm doing such an exciting tour that
Yeah.
I don't try not to think about it in a way. I guess
Mm.
it's just there's a job to do and I'm going to enjoy every moment, you know?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I mean, it must be exciting. I always think, because you do get to see lots of different places, lots of different theatres that you probably wouldn't go to. You know,
yeah.
it's always interesting to see the inside of theatres, I think, because some of them are so beautiful still. So that's great.
Mm,
So previously you've done Bat Out of Hell, which is a
yeah.
fantastic show. I mean, what was your experience like with that particular show?
I had the time of my life. You know, it was my big musical break. So it was a real take the bull by the horns kind of moment and just ran with it. I mean, I love the music in that show. So it was a real joy to sing.
Yeah.
We were really lucky that the tour was international. So we got to do arenas in
Oh, wow.
Australia, New Zealand. So, you know, it took me around the world.
Yeah.
Got to
Wow.
see all the amazing things and have these experiences. And, you know, I worked with some really amazing creatives, and the cast were just wonderful. So we kind of got bonded by all these brilliant things we were experiencing. And yeah, I loved the show. I will treasure that show for forever. It was my first kind of big thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when it's something that you love and adore, and that's what you've trained, sort of trained to do. I mean, it must be so wonderful to get those opportunities, sort of, and as you are now with Bonnie and Clyde. Do you have a favourite song from the show that you do, or perhaps that you don't do?
Can I have two? Well, it's hard.
Yeah.
We were yesterday because there's not one I want to skip when I listen to the sound. I think my favourite one just to listen to is actually When I Drive. It's where they were doing it in rehearsals yesterday, and it makes you so pumped, and it's you can't help but kind of move along to it. I think my favourite one probably to sing will be Too Late to Turn Back Now. It's a real kind of rocky moment. She really puts her foot down in this. Yeah,
I mean, I mean, it's a fantastic soundtrack. I've listened to it many times, and I think Raise a Little Hell, I think, will always just sort of be, you know, it's just one of those moments when, like, the sound of it is just so iconic. I think it's brilliant. I mean, I didn't get to see the show, unfortunately, when it was in London, so I'm, you know, really excited to see this out on the tour. Have you got a location sort of throughout the tour that you're thinking, oh, I can't wait to go to that particular place? I know Wolverhampton is probably up there.
Of course it is. I don't know. The theatres. I do have one kind of special week. I turned 30 in Dublin, and I've never been to Dublin before.
Oh, wow.
So a nice stars aligning a moment. And I think, I'll have a birthday. You know, I'm a lead in a show and have my birthday, and I'd like to,
that's amazing.
That might be a high point. And my home crowd I grew up near Brighton, so I've got all my coming to see me in Brighton, and Norwich I live in now, and I've got a crowd of people that will be there supporting me in Norwich as well. So I guess doing the theatre in those two places is exciting for me too. Yeah.
I mean, do you love having sort of familiar faces in the audience, or does it make you a bit more nervous?
I guess a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice. It gives you a buzz that you feel supported, and because you know someone, you have a little. I think I have a bit more butterflies with that.
Yeah.
I never try and find their faces ever.
No, that's probably the worst thing to do.
Yeah, I've spotted them as oh no, I can avoid that bit for the rest of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've also done pantomime, which I was reading about you on the website. I mean, do you enjoy pantomime? I mean, I personally think it's brilliant. I love Panto season. What's it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, this was my first one as the kind of princess character. I'd done about 6 years ago, and I was a baddie, so this was a complete flip. But it was great fun. I had a lovely cast and team. We all had a right hoot, and even on the days where I guess we were a little bit tired, Panto's schedule, as everyone knows, is quite relentless. But we all kind of went, right, here we go. And we just had a blast. It's good fun. It's lovely to see because it's kids' kind of maybe first experience of theatre as well.
Yeah. It's
a lovely way to kind of introduce them, and when you kind of feel like you're casting a bit of a spell with them, it's great. You know, it's lovely to see them kind of reacting to it and getting involved. Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, I mean, it must be as a performer. I always think that, you know, everybody on stage looks like they're having an absolute blast. But as you say, the schedule is sort of intense for that period of time. So you must be shattered by the end of it.
Yeah, we are quite tired, but it's Christmas as well. You know, everyone's in a good mood. You know, the
Yeah.
audiences have a great time. Kind of you bounce off because you know everyone's there to have some fun. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. Okay, so Bonnie and Clyde, the musical, out on its tour. It does kick off in Leicester, but we will be receiving it at the Wolverhampton Grand Theatre between the 5th and the 9th of March, and I really can't wait to see the show. And thank you for having a chat today. I know you must be really busy, so I do appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's lovely
You're
to chat
very
to you.
welcome. Take care.
No.
Bye-bye.